Bismarck was the largest battleship that Germany had in a war, and it was based in Norway, and on its first run was sunk. The sister ship to the Bismarck is the Tirpitz, and that was equal in size to the Bismarck, and that was sunk in a fjord in northern Norway, and it was sunk because one Norwegian with a radio who had been trained in England told the British exactly where it was, exactly where it was. The British didn't have the number of planes, the amount of fuel to simply search. When they knew exactly where it was, they sunk it. They built a 5,000 ton bomb, I think it was 5,000 tons. They built the heaviest bomb used in World War II that was not nuclear to sink the Tirpitz. The steel hull was 2 feet thick of premium steel, and it took the biggest bombs they had to be able to destroy it. But it was somebody on a Shetland bus that was able to get the information and the know-how to communicate. Okay, well, the Shetland bus and dangers. Some carefully organized resistance groups were infiltrated by pro-Nazis, including pro-Nazi Norwegians. And that's a bad story, but it's true. And its members were arrested. And some boats, like the one we were on, were attacked by German fighter planes. And the route to Shetland Islands required 200 miles, nautical miles, of hazardous ocean crossing. Most of the boats left during the fall and winter, when it was darker out and when it was stormy, unfavorable for flying. So anyway, that's was part of it. Why was it successful at all? The Norwegian coastline of 12,500 miles was impossible for the Germans to monitor continuously. They couldn't do it. The Norwegian fishing boats were well built, seaworthy, and Norwegian fishermen and sea captains were frankly the best. Okay, were frankly the best. Now, I just want to show you a picture of a Norwegian fjord and a farmhouse. That farmhouse has been in our family for a little more than 400 years. So that's the Terdal farm north of Florø, and we've been there a number of times. And in Norway, like in much of Europe, you don't sell stuff, you don't sell property like this. It goes from family to family to family to family. So it's been in the family for just over 400 years. Yeah, you're familiar with that? I just wanted to point this out. It's not so important in this group, but it's important when I talk to people who don't understand Norwegian history. The Norwegians have a history of being seafarers for a very long time. And I just point this out, but you all know that. Well, this frankly is just a sample of the kind of boats that were used. This would be a Norwegian fishing boat, cod fishing. I wanted to go to Norway and fish for cod, and the spawning ground, the spawning season for codfish is March and April. And of course there's snow on the ground in March and April. But that's what these boats were built for. They were built for cod fishermen. They were built sturdy because it could be rough seas and stuff like that. And when I visited the museum in Tel Aviv, they had a rowboat smaller than that in the museum that had successfully rowed, 2 men rowed from there to Scotland. Wow. Rowed. This one actually has a 12-horse motor in it. And there were boats like that went as well. But in the Tel Aviv, like I said, in the Tel Aviv Museum near Bergen, they have one in the museum. The 2 men survived the entire trip that way. But it also reflects how serious it was for many Norwegians to get out as part of it. Just want to show codfish. I might mention a couple things about codfish. I know you all know about codfish, but codfish have the least amount of fish oil in the flesh of any fish in the world. They have cod livers, which would have most of the cod liver oil. I mean, literally all of it, so that a 30-pound codfish might have less than an ounce or two of cod liver oil in the flesh, and it might have 8 pounds in the liver. Now, a Chinook salmon would be the opposite. I've caught Chinook salmon, and a 40-pound Chinook salmon might have 4 ounces of oil in the liver. These would have 8 pounds, and the salmon would have it throughout the flesh. The advantage of codfish, the advantage for people of a fish like the Norwegian cod, where the oil is in the liver, not in the flesh, is that you can dry it outside and you can keep it for months without refrigeration. You cannot do that with salmon because the oil in the salmon makes it more vulnerable to rot and decay. Even Christopher Columbus, when he came to the North America in 1492, had codfish from Norway in his boat. They know that. So I just have a shot of that. Beautiful. Okay, Merchant Marine. Norway, with a population of 3 million around World War II, had the 4th largest merchant fleet in the world. They still do. It's still about the 4th largest merchant fleet in the world. Most were at sea at the outbreak of World War II. More than 1,000 were at sea. All of those ships, not one returned to Norway when the news came out that Norway was attacked. Not one of them did. They had enough information on the radio that Germany had invaded Norway so that not one of those 1,000 ships came back to Norway. They went to England. And most of them were employed in the North Atlantic convoy system, frankly by permission of the Norwegian king. And 1/2 were sunk. All by Germans. I say mostly, but they were sunk by German subs. And 3,500 Norwegian seamen lost their lives on those ships, carrying people who were trying to escape, as well as bringing material from Canada and the U.S. to England to support the English war effort. So see, they didn't return to Norway at all until the war was over. Okay, I just want to show this. You may be familiar with this. This is the Nidaros Cathedral in Trondheim. This is the most famous cathedral in Scandinavia, built I think in the 1100s. But the important thing about this cathedral is that this is where kings are crowned. And this also is where it was the clergy from this church that first said, we will not sign a statement that we support the Nazi occupation of Norway. The same was true across Norway, but Trondheim, this cathedral, was early in saying that and taking a leadership role in that. I have this on the back of the cover with a statement on it about why Norway would not turn over Jews to Germans. Okay, my father's sister, Alma, Helen, her oldest son, Leif Terdal, married this woman, Bittaba. And the reason I'm showing this was that this is a remote one-room schoolhouse in the mountains of Norway between Oslo and Bergen. That school was shut down by the Germans during the war. I just wanted to show that, to show how extensive the Germans were in contacting every school, every teacher. This woman's mother refused to sign a statement. And she actually was arrested as one of them who were arrested. It's now like a museum.